birds at today? Just want to make sure that is live. Yep, okay. Zukoff, are you just gonna sit there and piss us like for 5 minutes straight? Oh my lord. I just want to be under the porch because you hate the rain, dude. Oh my lord. Wow. What a goof. A bunch of birds are out today. They all kind of flew off, I think. The scrub jay earlier that was hanging out right here, right in front of me. Right next to these branches. Goofy doggo. Goofy thing. Come on. Come on. Here, bub. Boop. Look at the bub. Hey. Yeah, back. Go to the bathroom real quick. Sit you like there for a second. Snuggle. Here we go. There we go. Shellbite today won't roast me. People stuck it down. Rub me that. That's nothing really much celebrate with that. dude's gonna die in like a couple days anyway. And also, like, the Crichton as fuck is kind of in part, like, at fault for a lot of shit that we see today when it comes to, like, you know, fascist or right-wing extremism and shit. So, I mean, the damage has already been done. Consider a W. It's not. Someone else just like him is going to replace him, and then it's just going to be the same business as usual. That's how, you know, these, like, corporate businesses work. Usually the person replaced them ends up being more cutthroat than the last. Like, I guarantee you they're probably going to have someone who's going to act more liberalized or whatever, but I doubt that's really going to give, like, Fox much of, like, fucking anything. Fuck. Cord literally just wants to, like, somehow scrunch back up into a fucking... Oh, whatever. Don't think they replace it any worse. Yeah, they could. You don't underestimate the extremism of the right wing, dude. Like, cause, yeah, they could, and they would. Here, hold on. Do this real quick. Okay, get out of here. Go. Fuck! Motherfuck! God damn it! Fuck! Is this my fucking luck today, really? Can't fucking open anything, straight fucking balls. Caught on my fucking jacket. Is that how my fucking day's gonna be right now? Fucking Christ, dude. What a great way to fucking start my morning. Just has to be like one little tiny fucking thing after another, doesn't it, with this shit? Food fell on the floor when I was cooking ribs. $4 of ribs ruined. Dude, I mean, you could, like... Got a noise complaint? I mean, it's whatever. I mean, like, food's one thing, I guess. You know what, I need to fucking clean out this stem anyway on this shit. So I don't need another tiny fucking thing, like, making it impossible to pull this. I should have done this already, but fucking who gives a shit. My fucking God, come on! tastes like alcohol, son. Fuck. Fucking God, really? No fucking worse. Fuck. Oh, fuck. There we go. Jesus. Back cat. That's almost the best weed in town. You can send me to it. No, I probably couldn't. Don't ever try to make me a bartender, for one, and for two, like, when it comes to, like, butt tending, I mean, I probably could do that more, but no. I couldn't exactly just, like, tell you just, like, the random little fucking intricacies or whatever the fuck. You said once fell asleep in my lap and rolled over, breaking it. Yeah, you told me about it. What's up? What's up? It says my nose about to fucking go stupid. Ugh. Ugh. Fucking hell, dude. Ugh. Well, so definitely it's been pissing my Cheerios this fucking morning. Felt so much better. You dream that someone was sitting on you, making it hard to breathe. Ugh. Yeah, cats tend to do that. Better than a dog. Zukav's done that to me a few times. And when he just like puts all your weight, or all of his weight on you, like when he's sleeping, yeah, that gets kind of like, what the fuck. Yeah, so what's going on? Dude, why do I keep seeing this fucking weird-ass meme that's been popping up on the internet? It's just like, how often do you think of the Roman Empire? And that's like the meme is asking that question. Why is this a meme? I've been seeing this for like the past like fucking like a week or something. I don't get it. I keep seeing that meme too. Do you get it? Because I don't. Is it just the virtues like, oh, it existed once, do you think about it? It's like, no, I don't. I mean, like, basically it's just essentially just like, I mean, at least to me, just like, you know, something that I only think about when it's brought up, and I don't get it. I watch certain right-toids for fun. I don't know if it's just strictly a right-wing meme. Like, what if alt history? That guy's just a fucking quack. Like, that dude is unhinged, honestly. But, I mean, what, has he been mentioning or something? Makes me laugh at his bad shit in timelines. Because he's just fucking batshit. I mean, that's just pretty much, you know, the root of it. It's just fucking, like, absurd, ridiculous, and pretty much takes all the weird alternative history theories into something that I bet is, like, apparently literally. Well, if the Roman Empire's around today stuff, it wouldn't be. I mean, an empire like that wouldn't be able to, like, you know, prosper or survive that long. And also, like, the origins of what that empire was from like thousands of years ago would not be the same thing, you know, today. So the Roman Empire wouldn't be a thing. He thinks the Romans could have beaten the Soviets? He's a fucking retard. He is beyond moronic. What the fuck? Mussolini and the Italians back in, you know, in World War II could barely fight against Ethiopians with, like, muskets and sticks, okay? Like, and am I supposed to imagine Romans fucking whooping ass? I'm supposed to imagine that? Like, a little Italiano Fredo Mussolini over there fucking couldn't handle, like, Ethiopians, and I'm supposed to expect them to handle fucking Soviets? Like, give me a break, bro. I mean, good lord. At least, like, make some fucking a little plausible. Like, I don't know, like, hey, you know, what if the Roman Empire survived for, like, another 500 years or something? Like, that seems a little plausible. And I guess technically you can argue, like, the Holy Roman Empire and shit like that and future iterations, you know, could potentially, you know, become, like, a thing, you know, still, I guess. But, or, you know, at least be a thing that, you know, could, at least last longer, I guess. But, I mean, the idea that it could still be around today is just absurd. Fascism caused by the leftist agitation, and wouldn't it have happened because Rome? Is he like a fucking monarchist? We need to have a Roman Empire with a monarchy-based leader. Like, good lord. Which, funny enough, at least, like, even though, like, fascism or leftism and these ideas weren't a fucking thing at all during the Roman times, he wants to try to equate modern, like, philosophy and politics into their fucking lifestyles. Granted, I'd argue the Roman Empire is probably, like, close to, like, what... You know, I think I'd argue that, like, the Roman Empire is closest to what fascism is today, right? But, like, I mean... The idea that, like, you know, they that like that was, you know, a whole fucking like foundation to their politics or something that's just beyond retarded. He's just a dipshit that plays too many Paradox games. He's not just a dipshit that plays too many Paradox games. He's just like a fucking far-right conservative, monarchist, fascistic fucking weirdo, you know, that basically is way too delved into Paradox games. So, I mean, you're pretty much there. So, I'm just saying there's a few other things that, you know, could be added to it. Romans could have gladly embraced, would have, well, yeah. I mean, Mussolini himself, you know, he took a lot from the Roman Empire, including the fascismo, which is the origins of the fascist symbol, with the axe with the sticks around it. Like he appropriated and adopted all this type of shit, you know, for, well, fascism. You know, that's something that Mussolini, like, specifically helped codify. He wasn't the only one, but, I mean, he was definitely one of the big, prominent heads and architects of the philosophy. Some more news about that WGH strike reaching their deal is starting to spread. After more than 45 months after it began, obtaining the deal. And strike on May 2nd after the call stars is stalled. No, it's Journal watches Mr. Z, who is also a rightoid, but actually does coherent timelines. One where the pact between Germany and Soviets wasn't broken. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Basically, Germany overruns Europe and Stalin invades later. Well, that was kind of the initial strategy. I mean, at least, you know, well, Stalin wouldn't invade. Like, I mean, he was a lot more of a paranoid, like, isolationist type. More so than, like, an expander, kind of like Trotsky was. So, I mean, if anything, I don't think Stalin would have done shit. I think he would have just, like, you know, let Western Europe, you know, become a fascist Nazi shithole, and as long as Hitler fucked off from the communist Soviet Union, I don't think he would have given a fuck. The problem is, though, that treaty, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, was literally only a means to an end for the Nazis, basically. Like, Soviets used it as a way to buffer themselves between the rest of the Western world, essentially, and, like, the Nazis saw that as literal means to an end to, you know, solidify a front line and, like, you know, be able to kind of expand into areas that obviously they haven't had yet, to be able to, like, you know, do a, you know, kind of like a surprise blitzkrieg tactic. Until the Holocaust comes to light and everyone turns on them. Basically a bloody World War II. Yeah, and I guarantee you McCarthyism would have been a major thing, you know, from the fascists/Nazis at that point, because the Western capitalist world is a lot more willing to work at fascists than socialists. That's just the fucking truth of it all. So, of course, you know, you have these more liberal democracies that are willing to work at the fucking Nazis. And, in fact, I mean, a lot of, at least individuals and leaders of the, like, you know, free world, you know, before the Nazis started going, like, madman status and shit, like, they were actually fairly friendly with them. It's like, all those Nazis, they have some interesting ideas, all I say, but, you know what, man, we got some nice little economic trade deals for me. Like, they never gave a fuck. I mean, Ford was, like, praised their ass, like, a fucking bunch of times. So, the West was certainly a lot more sympathetic to the Nazis, you know, more than, like, history wants to make it out to be. Like, literally the only reason why, like, the entire world decided to say fuck Nazis was because they decided to invade everybody. If they didn't do that, then, honestly, like, they would be seen in a far more sympathetic light, you know, in these days. Which is kind of scary. Knowing that, like, the modern, like, Western world at the time was so backwards and racist that, like, even the Nazis were seen as, like, a little quirky, but Because a lot of those same type of people from like Churchill to Henry Ford, a lot of these, big leaders at the time, whether industrialists or actual political leaders, they were very sympathetic with fascists and Nazism, and especially anti-Semitism. Like, that's the reason why, if anything, the Nazis were able to get away with so much of what they were able to do, because it was a very big thing for a lot of, like, Anglo-Saxon, white, supremacist Nazi types and fascists to essentially, and conservatives, to basically just blame Jews. That was the literal go-to. And that always has been for a long time, and they just exploited that type of shit. Because, like, pretty much most of the, white Western sphere looked at Jews as just, like, dirty, manipulative, corrupt people, basically. So it never really mattered to them. Like, they literally were okay with the Holocaust up until they realized, oh, they're also trying to Holocaust us, too. It's not just the Jews, what? Well, I say that bien sacrébleu. You're supposed to go after the Jews, not the French. All the British over here, I say. You're supposed to just go after those other folks. That's also why they banned Poland. Poland had two things going on. Like, a minority Jewish population that was pretty prominent there, and a minority German population. And of course, a lot of the West at that time was racist as fuck. So they were like, oh yes, the racists should stick with their nation and, be brought back to their nation and stuff like that. But, like, they were sympathetic with that shit. Like, honestly, like, they were very fucking comfortable with the idea of Germany reunifying. They just wanted the Germany to be punished and learn their lesson, but they just did it by basically crippling them. And, as they slowly but surely try to get back on their feet, it was, essentially them, like, using that as, like, the scapegoat, basically. Like, oh, yeah, like, this is our justification. We're just trying to rebuild our economy and, bring pride back to our people and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And, the West are just like, as long as you pay your debts, then who cares? It's fucking scary how to see comfortable people were fascism back then. They are getting with it now. And, I mean, well, I would say the circumstances today are different from back then. Like, I mean, there's a lot of elements about today where, like, this has happened once before. And also, like, there's just a, like, a major pinnacle point of history where, like, a lot of, people look at fascism and Nazism in an obviously very fucking negative light. Even if they happen to be kind of conservative leaning. So, I mean, you got that. Plus, there's a lot more free access of information with things like the internet and stuff. I mean, like, conditions now are definitely different from then, when it comes to the spread and influence of it. So I don't really think, they have the same ability to kind of rise to such power like they did from back then. Nor do I think, they can have as much sympathy either. Well, don't get me wrong, it's not like it's still there, because it definitely is. Used for calling attention, not scum, but also not scum can use it to recruit. Or just make them, like, or just use it as a way to undermine their whole, root of their cause. What? We want to kill off all the gay people and stuff? No! We just care about the kids, and we don't want to make sure that sexual offenders and, like, perverted freaks, just are, like, going after the children and stuff. What?
Views and conduct run counter to everything, which can actually tear at the fabric of who we are as an institution.
I keep seeing Right Toys say that P will be added to the LGBT soon. I'm not surprised. That's like something that's, and the time keeps passing without that happening. Well, no shit. It's just another form of fear-mongering, and they've always done that. Like, that whole AstroTurf artificial psyop of, like, maps or whatever on Twitter and on some social media platforms trying to psyop, the fact that they're also somehow queer or some shit. Which, most of them were just right-wingers. Like, just straight up, like, right-wing weirdos or overt just regular PDF file freaks, you know, that decided to kind of like partake in a fucking psyop to try to make, you know, the broader LGBT look bad, basically. Especially trans people. Like, it's literally a fucking psyop. And, you know, and like it's unfortunately, it's at least in some parts succeeded because it has like kind of established it as a talking point. And the problem is, though, this has been a long fucking, you know, time where this talking point's been a thing. It's evolved, or I guess devolved, you know, in various different forms. But at the end of the day, like, I mean, it's always been a talking point. Like, back in the 80s, with the gay panic scare and shit like that, they used the same fucking talking points. Oh, the reason why a lot of, you know, homosexual queers are around is that these fags are, you know, touching your children. And blah, 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 blah. You know, like, that's what they fucking said back then. Yes, it could come from any origin, though I'd argue they appear more often on the right than the left. Honestly, I'd argue they almost come from strictly from the right. Like, I'd argue that, like, 90% of pedophiles are right-wing conservatives. And I actually fucking will die on that hill. Like, cause, like, every time, you know, these child sexual abusers and, you know, fucking pedophiles, you know, get caught, they always have to be either conservative influencers, right-wing pastors, vermient anti-homosexual, fucking, like, preachers and shit, hate preachers. Like, they always come from the right-wing and conservative almost exclusively. Like, you might get the rare exceptional case of, like, some weird sad loser that might be kind of, like, left or liberal leaning or some shit that also happens to be a pedophile, but that's, like, a rare exception to the rule. I mean, honestly, I do believe that. Like, anyone who's, like, I mean, chances are, like, if there's, like, you know, one of these, like, hyper crazy, you know, fucking conservative weirdos and shit, it's almost like a guarantee hunch that they're probably a pedophile. The worst I've heard from the left is, like, sex pest or someone grabbing ass. Yeah, like, the worst I usually hear from the left is, like, really, it's unfortunate, but, like, usually, like, I guess your kind of typical run-in-the-mill, like, sexual assault or, you know, sexual harassment shit. It's not good, and it's still fucked up, but, like, in comparison to what a lot of the people on the right get caught doing, I mean, like, getting caught with CP or this and that and all this other shit, I mean, if the left's worst thing is that you have an abuser here and there, you know, that are kind of within the ranks, I mean, I think we're doing pretty good for ourselves, you know what I mean? I think, you know, when it comes down to that shit, we, you know, on the left, you know, seem to have a pretty good understanding about how to treat people. Or, you know, like, you know, or when it comes to all these things in general. I mean, obviously there's still a lot of issues, like, you know, like sexual harassment and stuff like that, like in these things that are, unfortunately, still kind of, like, partly common to an extent. I mean, you know, all things considered, though, it seems like, you know, if we're going to take the severity of what, like, a lot of people on the right get caught doing versus people on the left, I think the people on the right are way fucking worse on this shit. Because at least you don't hear about leftists abusing kids unless it's, like, some right-wing psyop bullshit. I mean, honestly. You went outside. I just let you out earlier, and you don't want to be out here. Go on. Go. If you want to go potty, go do it. I'd argue pedophilia is inherently a right-wing position because right towards considered child property. I mean, yeah. I mean, a lot of people on the right do see children as nothing more than property of the parents and not an individual. Or even really like a autonomous living person up until they're legally an adult. So, yeah, honestly, I do, you know, believe that too. I mean, like, because at the end of the day, like in right-wing conservative households, children are just far more likely to be abused, exploited, or preyed upon. And that's just a fucking fact. I mean, it just is. I mean, there's just too much, like when it comes to articles, when it comes to, like, the information, the data, and the, like, there's just so fucking much, and it's so endless. And honestly, like, the left really should just take advantage of this at this point, and they kind of are, but it needs to, like, be hammered the fuck down, you know what I mean? Like, every time this whole weird, like, queer panic, trans panic shit pops up, just like, just literally shoved down their fucking throats article after article after article of, like, the literal, like, child trafficking sex rings that are happening with the Catholic Church and different Protestant churches all throughout America. I mean, literally just, like, shove it down their throat. It's like, no, the real groomers are you. You're the fucking groomers. You preachers, you church-going fucking fascists. Like, you're the fucking ones who are grooming kids. Like, it needs to literally be hammered the fuck down. It can't just be as simple as, like, nah, no, we're not. Worst my parents did to me was spank me. While I'm against that, I don't think that they really abuse me. I mean, it still technically is. I mean, I suppose that's a little bit more of a gray area, I guess. So dad being a homophobe made me deny myself for years. That could be mental abuse, I guess. I mean, a little bit. I wouldn't necessarily say it directly unless he was overtly, like, you know, say, don't be a queer little fag or something, boy. Like, I mean, you know, unless it's some shit like that. I mean, if he was just, you know, being homophobic and you just happen to be around and just happen to, like, you know, hear it or something, I mean, it's still fucked up, but, I mean, I guess technically that wouldn't be abuse. You never did anything like that. Yeah, so I guess, I mean, it's definitely, like, kind of psychologically, like, kind of fucked a little bit, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's, like, overt abuse, I guess. I don't know, like, at a certain point, it does get kind of a gray area, where it's like, was it technically abuse, or was it not, or was it just, like, neglect, or just ignorance, which, honestly, at least in this case, I'd probably just say ignorance, you know, on that case, and I guess, you know, just past trauma, at least with your dad's case. I made sure you never knew I wasn't totally straight, yeah. Which, you know, honestly, like, even before I totally came out, you know, with everybody, like, I would do the same thing myself. And honestly, like, I mean, I guess technically we'll do it a little bit, but it's obviously pretty fucking tongue-in-cheek. Like, you know, like, at this point, if I make a joke that would seem homophobic, it's pretty fucking obvious it isn't. It's just an edgy joke at this point. Like, if anything, I'd use those comments more so against the people that are being homophobic, because if anything, they're the secret little, like, closeted little dick sucker. Like, I mean, they're the ones who are doing weird BDSM, kinky, grimy shit, you know, in their fucking closets, not, you know, people who are out and open with it. Just glad mom accepted me completely. Yeah, it kind of took a while for my mom to kind of get over it. My dad was actually the one who pretty much was pretty accepting of it right off the bat. He was like, oh, okay, whatever. My mom was like, where did I go wrong? Oh no! Like, she was the one who kind of freaked out about it for a while. Had to, like, come to terms, you know, on her own accord, I guess, about it. And my brother, when he ran away from his girlfriend, tried to out me to her. Well, he definitely seems kind of like a crazy shithead. Joanne likes such dick. Well, the thing is, that it isn't even technically true because you haven't even done that before, so how in the fuck would you know if you like that or not? I mean, at least that you can honestly deny and be like, no, I don't. And mom said, how's that in your business? Space Mom of Venom. Nice. I mean, also, yeah, like, at the end of the day, why would it be their fucking business? See, that's just, like, the stupid thing about these conservative fucking weirdos and shit, man. Or just, like, these, you know, like, you know, people that are just, like, it's just fucking, like, so self-serving in this type of fucking way. Because it's like, you know, it's like, oh, I know some information, let me use this to, like, totally try to fuck their life over entirely. For, like, the memes or lols or something. It's like, what the fuck, dude? see what type of things we can look at for later tonight. This narcissist actually got diagnosed with a little while before leaving. So, as narcissistic personality disorder. Well, that's definitely probably not concerning. I mean, a lot of people who have narcissistic personality disorder aren't, like, total pieces of shit. But, fucking yay. Like, I mean, there's definitely a certain level of severity when it comes to that type of disorder where, you know, like, where it just becomes even way worse than just simply, you know, somebody who just happens to be a little self-serving for themselves. Because I think having a little garnish of narcissism in your personality or life is not really a bad thing. Having a little bit of selfishness, you know, is not really bad. You know, you just don't want to let that, like, you basically, you know, like, overcome to the point where you, like, basically just disregard, you know, like, selflessness and, like, you know, empathy and helping others. You know, it's like, it's, you know, so you don't want it to, like, totally be, like, you know, consuming of, you know, your life and shit, but I just think there's at least a little merit for it, because obviously you want to make sure that you got yourself taken care of, right, you know, so. Top of being schizophrenic and being trans. Wow, so yeah, that, I mean, unfortunately, he just really needs to be somewhere in an outlet, you know, where, frankly, they probably should be institutionalized because of the schizophrenia and shit like that. In a social sense, especially in Texas. Yeah, well, yeah. That's kind of what I'm saying. I knew you weren't me in that transphobic way. I mean, that's just extra bullshit for him to deal with, you know, to try to, you know, live a somewhat comfortable life. Because, like, I imagine, like, you know, the paranoia of being outed as trans or, like, potentially getting attacked for being trans and shit like that probably makes that schizophrenia way fucking worse. I mean, honestly. I can only imagine, like, you know, like, how fucked, you know, their head must be just because of shit like that. I mean, you know, and that's why I say, it's like, you know, someone like that probably just needs to be institutionalized, you know, really just for their own, you know, health and sake. Not in a bad way, just like, you know, just something where it's like, hey, you know, they need, hey, Sooks, what are you doing? They just need to, you know, have, you know, people that, you know, humanely take care of him, and they're in a place where, you know, they're still treated like a human, but at least, you know, like, you know, just take care of and observe, just to make sure that they don't accidentally hurt themselves or other people, because, unfortunately, you know, it's just one of those types. Because I ain't dealing with that with that bees again. Yeah. So, fucking, like, homeless in El Paso, and honestly, I can only imagine it's pretty bad already as it is with that, because, I mean, there's a pretty big, like, migration crisis thing going on in El Paso. Like, it actually not even that long ago. Like, the other night, or the other day, I saw an article, it's like, you know, another wave of, you know, migrants came to El Paso to, you know, try to, you know, get refugee status and shit like that. And it's, like, you know, creating a lot more instability and a lot of bullshit over there already as it is. So I can only imagine, like, the various social services and the various different, like, things about El Paso are probably just kind of fucked. You saw that on the news? Yeah. And I guarantee you news has probably got a lot more of a xenophobic position about it. But, you know, I'm just saying, like, you know, with all that going on over there, it's just like, you know, there's not really anyone or, like, anything to really help them. It's just kind of fucked. Fox News, of course. Of course. So what the fuck? What is England doing, dude? The UK army is on standby as London police hand in their arms. England is really in a severe existential crisis. It actually says a little bit here. Britain, I almost feel bad for my brother, but after the way he treated mom and me, I can't help. I can't allow that toxicity in my life, I'm sure. So, oh, absolutely. I mean, even though I'm saying this, that person needs to, like, get help and shit. I mean, that's not that's not, like, in any means or abilities for you to try to do. Kaiser Reich Reborn. I mean, well, here, let me read it. I was about to read it until I saw that, but here. So Britain has put its army on stamp. Oh, here, I can actually, it's a community post. It's from this, it's from these guys, Crux. I'm not subscribed to them, but I get their little community posts all the time. So, I mean, honestly, I probably should just subscribe to them because, I mean, I see their community posts a lot. Which are kind of like, various different little, like, news things and shit. But it's been charged with murder. Okay, so Britain has put its army on standby after a number of London police officers handed in their weapons in support of fellow officer. So Blue Lives Solidarity, they're doing that over there in England too. It has been charged with the murder over the fatal shooting of a young black man. Well, you're not going to name him. Oh wait, no, he does. Or it does, yeah. So, and according to media reports, around 100 Met police officers have stepped back from firearms duties. September 21st, an armed officer identified as NX121. Jesus Christ. Officer NX121. Oh my fucking god, dude. Was charged with the murder of Chris Kaba on September 5th, 2022. Kaba, who was reportedly unarmed at the time of his death, because he was unarmed, succumbed to a single gunshot fired in a vehicle. A single gunshot? I'm pretty sure there was more than one shot fired. So, didn't have weapons other than billy clubs. No, they do. They just don't use them. Or they almost never use them. Like, they have pistols, but they're not, like, armed to the teeth like American cops are. And then I guess you got these fucking British US, or these British UK army soldiers who are, I guess, gonna be on standby to patrol fucking London streets. Because all the fucking cops want to stand in solidarity, for the fucking pig that murdered a man. But not in solidarity of the black man that died. Pretty fucking typical. Pigs are gonna pig. ACAB is international. Fuck 12 is international. To not have cops with rifles and shotguns. Well, for a while, like, these cops actually had, like, MP5s and rifles and shit like that. I mean, when there was a lot of terrorist attacks going on in Europe, in Western Europe, like in places like France and shit, like, there was a period of time where, like, French and UK and German police would actually be armed with, like, MP5s, and shit like that. Full on, like, automatic weapons and stuff, and, I mean, but they wouldn't, like, be decked out like, fucking, U.S. police officers. They would still look like, in their normal, like, boot, like, walking the beat cop type of uniforms. They just had, like, like a extra pouch where they had, like, some MP5 mags in their MP5 with them. Like, they had, like, one extra piece of kit, and that was basically about it. Like, they were pretty much dressed like they normally would be, for all intents and purposes. They were just a little extra decked out, just because of the heightened sense of security. No body armor. Well, no, they were wearing body armor. Like, I mean, the thing is, like, UK and French guys, like, they wear body armor too. Like, but they just have it where it's a little bit more, like, kind of tight fit, or, more, what's the word? Like, I guess, like, kind of, just not bulky, very slim. Because, like, American cops, like, their body armor is just fucking, like, it looks like literally like a military flak vest, essentially. But for them, it's like, anti-knife / small caliber arms, like body armor stuff. So it's more smaller and tight fit and stuff. And, obviously we'll protect them still. But, at the end of the day, they're just, like, they're not, like, all decked out like they were in the fucking military or something. Their cops look like fascist brown shirts. Yeah, basically. Doggo. Doggo, doggo. A sweet little doggo. A furry little doggo. Probably puts you out. I do. I have the door open. You can come in and out. But now he's inside. Now he's over there staring at me. weed is slightly toxic to doggos today. I'm shocked I didn't know about it still now. I mean, a little bit. It's mostly like THC and the variations of the THC cannabinoids that do. So I think it might have made your dad's dog retarded by smoking them up so much back in the day. I don't know. Maybe, probably not. Who knows? I mean, like, like I said, from my understanding, it's like, you know, the THC, family of cannabinoids that are, you know, what is a little toxic to them. Like, when it comes to things like, CBD and stuff like that, I mean, that is, that's something that, at least, you know, is okay for dogs. In fact, they actually have a lot of, like, CBD, you know, based treats and shit like that for them. And chew on a brick. Well, was that, like, always his behavior, or was that something that he eventually kind of did on his own? Actually shocked he didn't break any teeth that way. Honestly, yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that wasn't the case either. It was his favorite toy. What a weird dog, dude. I thought my dog was weird. Little sweet puppo. We let him out as puppy. He dropped back a brick from back who knows where. So you let him out when he was a little puppy, and he just brought back a brick, and well, it sounds like he was always destined to have that brick. I mean, it sounds like he, you know, just was always really into it. I mean, if that was like some behavior that dog was already, you know, like doing and all that stuff, I mean, I don't know if, like, you know, the weed had anything to do it. We buried that brick with him. Aww. Yeah, little doggo deserves to have that little brick. Boo is good boy, but turn your back and eat your weed. Man. Lost a half pound to him? Oh my god. Now that's a stoner dog, like, holy crap. Dad was furious. I mean, I would be too. Damn. Look at a little psycho mutt. And I thought my dog was bad. You made me buy in the next round. Damn. It actually kind of makes me glad that my dog isn't, you know, that bad about it. Because actually, he does not like weed. I've literally have been like, hey, you want, you know, like, here, smell this nug. Or, like, and all that. Like, you know, and he would just be like, Like, he generally is not into it at all. Which, I mean, in a way, I'm actually kind of glad. I'm kind of glad he won't get into the weed or anything, if that's the case. Went back to our dealer the next day, and he was like, how the fuck did you go for half a pound in a day? Oh, I'm sure he was probably having a laugh once he heard that story. Dad just pointed to the dog, and we all laughed. Damn. You know, I mean, even though, like, I would probably be mad in the moment, you know, after thinking about it, you know, especially after, like, a day or two, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be able to help but laugh about it. I mean, you know, it's one of those things where you can't really be mad forever at. I think I might have also fucked him up with spray paint. Well, you've told me about that, like you were spray painting a room or something, and he was in there in the room with y'all. In the shed. Yeah, well, you definitely don't want to, like, you know, you want, like, some form of ventilation when you're spray painting shit. Like, I mean, no matter what. Like, you might have accidentally fucked yourself up, too, on that one. I realized when he tripped over his brick and slammed into the ground. Man, that poor dog. Carried that bulldog out to the vet half a mile away. Oh my god. Carrying that bastard. Damn. I mean, I'd do anything for my puppo. I'd do the same thing. I would fucking carry him too. If he was sick or something and I had no other way to do it, I'd fucking just carry his ass myself. We checked him out and said he was fine, but no more painting with him in the room. I think the vet knew I was stoned too. Well, I mean, if anything, it just kind of sounds like, you know, the vet kind of realized, like, you probably made a fuck up, but since it was, like, you know, one time, I mean, you know, I imagine it probably, you know, wouldn't be that long-term of a problem. Break the weed and half an ounce and half smoked blunt in my pocket. Why would you have that on you, dude? Well, yeah, okay, yeah, they probably thought you were stoned. Like, Jesus Christ. Or they probably thought you were having some excuse. Like, I think my dog's acting weird because I got high with him. But, yeah, I was actually spray painting. They probably thought you were, like, you know, making some excuse. You didn't think to drop the weed. I mean, fair enough, but, I mean... I would not be surprised if those vets probably were thinking, you know, he probably got his dog high and panicked and whatever. We'll just tell him not to spray paint in the shed again. As the little key word of don't do that again. Good old days. I mean, at the end of the day, it does sound like he has some fun times, though. Can we attach to tell you some of these stories in person one day? Hey, don't think I have stories too, because I got a lot. I mean, I got it. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of stories I haven't even told on here yet that I know. Do a little time check. There we go. Swoop. Get the slash little bowl loaded up. Oh, sweet little Juju. Having a little nap. Kind of. Yeah, a little bit. He's like half napping. I mean, he kind of is, but he's just looking at me at the same time. But anyway, at least call good for now, and basically, you know, call good and come back later tonight and all that fun shit. Wait, what? It's because destroyed fake news me if he wins. Well, he's said that before. He said that while he was president. Like, he tried to loosen up libel laws and shit. Like, I mean, I'm not really surprised by that. But, anyway. Let's call it good. Come back later tonight. All that fun shit. So, peace out. And I'll see y'all on that next one.